As we now return on Sunday to ordinary time after the great celebrations of the Trinity and Corpus Christi, the Holy Eucharist, the Church gives us the opportunity today with our readings to consider who is called to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. Who does God work through and use so that his presence can be known in the world? After all, it pleases God to do that, to work through and with his creation, particularly the crown of his creation, we as human beings. And as we see throughout scriptures, there seems to be a common theme in who he chooses. Because it's almost as if it pleases God as well to choose people that the world would not expect to be given such an incredibly important task. Look at in the first reading from the book of Exodus as we go through the story of Moses. Think about who Moses was. Yes, he did grow up in the royal household of Pharaoh because he was discovered as a child. But as he is called by God in the burning bush, as he is sent for the mission to save the people and become their leader, he makes it clear how unworthy he feels to do this. Surely it's not me. Apparently he had difficulty in speaking publicly. It's thought that tradition holds that he had a stutter or something, which made it that he didn't want to go and speak in front of the people to tell them what God was asking him to. He didn't feel himself important or smart or great enough to be the leader of this entire nation as they left Egypt. And yet, nonetheless, God calls him, and God himself does what needs to be done through him, such that Moses accomplished all of those things and more. Looking now at the 12, in today's gospel we hear the story of the calling, one of the many stories of these 12 men who would become his apostles. And once more, by every worldly standard, there is nothing remarkable about them. They are not powerful or famous. They're not particularly well educated. They're not rich. They're not influential. They're not even religious leaders amongst the Jewish people. Certainly not political leaders from the empire. They're just 12 normal guys who worked normal jobs as fishermen or craftsmen. One was even from what would be considered an unsavory job as a tax collector. And yet, nonetheless, Christ calls these 12, seeing something in them that he himself had created that he knew he could use to be the apostolic foundation of the Holy Catholic Church, which has stood on that foundation for the past 2,000 years. Now, of course, of the 12, we also know one of them rejected the call that he was given. In Judas Iscariot, the one who would betray him, we see the reality as well that even if God calls us to something, he does not override our free will. He wants us to freely choose to accept whatever it is he has called us to. And if we choose not to, if we turn against him, even to our own destruction, he allows that to happen because he does respect and has created our free will. The task then for us is to realize that we are all called to something. Every one of the baptized is called to do something in this world so that God might be an instrument through us. And once more, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're not important by the world's standard as an influencer or celebrity, a politician, or someone rich and famous. All that matters is that we accept that call and that we allow God to work through us. Every single one of you, every single one of us are given certain abilities and talents, things that we are able to use and share so that God can work through us. And it's different for everyone. Whether it be something like the ability to reach out to people who are in need, who are going through a difficult time, who experience great difficulty, anxiety, and hardship in this life, to remind them that they are not alone. How desperately God wants to reach out to them through you, to offer them your prayers, to let them know you're there for them, to support them, and do whatever it is you can do to bring them some relief in their suffering. Perhaps in your state in life, you're called to a situation where many of the people around you are not familiar with Christ or his church, and God is calling you to evangelize, not because you're some great theologian who has a PhD in theology and apologetics, but simply because you're able to share what the faith means to you and to invite others here. This past year, of our 50-plus OCIA participants who were joining the church, almost every single one of them had been invited to come and be a part of that process and then ultimately join the church through someone else who either had done it themselves or simply came here. Again, that's the primary means through which God reaches out to other people in the world to bring them in. Perhaps at this state in your life, you've been blessed with many things, and now you have time and treasure that you can share to build up the church, to build up her mission, to be a part of what we do here at this parish, or to support it, to be a part of what we do at the Cathedral Soup Kitchen, to support it for those who go without in this city, to alleviate their suffering. Whatever it is, there is no one in this church right now who is not being called to be a disciple and to do something so God can do something in this world. And then again, the good news is it really doesn't matter who we are. All that matters is that we allow the divine to work through us and that we're docile to that. Even in our imperfections, even in our shortcomings, he works through that, and in doing so, he sanctifies us and he sanctifies this world. Let it be that all of us accept this call and that the kingdom of heaven grows from this place because we allow God to work through us.